I'm just going to take a couple minutes and talk to you about fan centers. You may have been taught them last semester, but I'm just going to give you a once over on what's going on with a fan center. We'll go to the first picture here. These are the two diagrams that you'll have one or the other based on your student number. The fan centers are um, in different scenarios. This one here is a fan center right there, and we'll talk about it. This one, the fan center is up here. Fan centers typically have an R, W, C, G, and Y attached to them. You'll see this one also, it's harder to see, but there's a WRC, WRCGY there. So both of them have the five nomenclatures of the different things that are going to your thermostat. So let's just break down how these are wired in, because you'll see this fan center's got a black and a white, a yellow, another white, a black with a stripe, and a red going to it. And then coming out of it, we're going obviously to the thermostat. So a fan center is where the thermostat is attached to. And the fan center, let's just break it down. The fan center is basically a 24-volt transformer and a 24-volt single pole double throw relay. So there's usually a normally open and a normally closed switch. So that's a typically, if you take a look at this unit here, let me just make this a little bigger. This fan center comprises of, you can see it here, there's the core. This is the transformer. The transformer, you guys know, has an R and a C. There's your R and a C on the transformer. On the bottom part of this thing is the relay. The relay has a coil and some switches. Well, that relay, the coil and the switches, are these wires coming out the back. You'll see a black and a white here. That's powering the transformer. Okay. You'll also see that C, there's a wire coming from C going down to the coil on the relay. G goes to the other side of that coil. So when I throw R and G at the thermostat, it pulls a switch which turns on a fan. The fan is powered typically through, there's three wires here, a brown, a red, and a black. Okay, are usually the three other wires. The black is power coming into the relay contacts. The red is usually the normally open, and the red is normally closed, and the brown is usually normally open. Anyways, doesn't matter. All we're looking here is a relay. If you look at W, G, and Y, you'll notice there's nothing attached to them, although the G goes to the switch down here. These are just connections to put your thermostat and your wiring going to your air conditioning or whatever. Okay, so that's what a fan center is, although it's not overly complicated. It is a transformer with RNC and a relay down at the bottom that has a normally open set of switches and normally closed switch. If you have a heating only appliance, there's no way of turning on multiple speeds when you use a fan center. So a fan center is used if you want to turn on multiple speeds. I'll give you, for instance, a heat speed on a furnace might be medium high. If I want to turn on high speed, I have to turn off medium high in case there's power going to it, so I can power the high speed. You can never power two speeds at the same time. Okay, so that's what we use a fan center for. All we're doing is we're switching speeds based on whether we want air conditioning or not. Okay. This is a better diagram here of how this works. So basically we have black and white. Right here is the power coming into the transformer. R and C is the transformer. C goes to the load, which is the coil. G, go see the other side. So when we close R and G at the thermostat, that's basically turning fan to fan on, from auto to on. You power this coil, and it basically closes this switch and opens this switch. So this is a normally closed switch. This is a normally open switch. When we power this, this closes, this opens. That's basically what's going on. Again, you'll notice W and Y don't have any wires connected to it. W will go and turn on your gas valve or whatever. Y will go turn on your relay for your outside air conditioning coil. Let me just run through this. Basically, very basic wiring. R, W, Y, C, G, and Y. R and C are the 24 volts. W and Y are the terminal connections. Notice that C is going to the coil. G is going to the other side of the coil. Let's just finish off with this. How to use a fan center? Well, if you ever notice on the back of a thermostat, you'll have an RC and an R. You actually have the ability to run two transformers. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. What we do is, you'll notice a little jumper right here. That jumper will jumper R and RC. When you put a thermostat in, that jumper is usually there. The only reason you'd have to pull out the jumper is in case you have two transformers on your unit. You only have two transformers if you add a fan center. If you add a fan center to an air conditioning or to a furnace or a heating unit, you will need to take that jumper out. You will have two R's coming up. One for RC, which is for cooling, and one is R for heating. I'm not trying to complicate things. I'm just getting you to understand that all thermostats, you'll see an RC and an R, and there's a jumper between them. That's so in case you do add a fan center, you can change that. I'm not sure if I made things more complicated for you, but that's basically how a fan center works. It's a transformer with a normally 24 volt single pole double throw relay attached to it. And this diagram here is your best description of what that coil is. Okay, thank you. That's it for fan centers.